Hey guys, Joel's coming at you with another reasoning session where I challenge the wisdom of the world and the church with practical applications into deep dives of the ancient scriptures and how to practically apply it to situations and circumstances in our present day. And today I'm going to be talking about the results of what happens when you actually allow Source to give you that inner wisdom and that inner knowledge.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
But if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more like content. I'm honestly making videos like this all the time because this message is coming out for this present moment. And no matter what the lamestream tries to do with shadow banning and censorship, this message is falling on the ears that are receptive for it, for the people whose hearts are actually willing to take it in and to act on these messages as agents in place, downloading the kingdom of heaven into this earth plane. But with that out of the way, I'm just going to jump straight into it. Our passage today comes from the Mishlei, chapter 17, verse 27. It says, "He that has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of excellent spirit." So you can also reverse this and say that whoever spares his words has knowledge, because when you have knowledge, you're not just going to be verbose, just throwing your pearls before swine. You're actually going to choose who you're sharing that information with, and if you're with people that aren't receptive to it, you're not just going to splurge your words. It goes on to say, "Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is counted wise, and he that shuts his lips is esteemed a man of understanding." There's an old saying that even says, keep quiet and people will think you a philosopher. And that particularly applies with our present day, because as we can see with the media and narratives that are being perpetrated, sometimes a lot of people just paint themselves into corners with the words they speak, and especially those of us with eyes to see can see right through this. We don't even buy a lot of the nonsense, and sometimes they just have to open their mouth and they just keep digging that grave deeper for themselves. Like, I know one example here in Canada, like we have politicians that are running that are actually exposing a lot of the corruption, and the media is just trying to run them to the ground by saying they're racist or all these other comments that aren't really addressing the issues that they've brought up in the first place. And while some politicians are a bit hesitant to rebut some of these comments, like when they actually do, it's so obvious that they're corrupt. Like one of these politicians campaigning for justice actually called into question some of these people's allegiance who are running the health programs and all this other stuff. And then one of the guys rebutting him says, "You know what, it's ridiculous to question someone's loyalty to their country. And when it gets that bad, you're just already infiltrated by spies." So I know I don't need to talk to you guys. I'm preaching to the choir here. But it's wisdom to actually know that when you speak more, you're actually opening more doors for things to come against you. And unless you're really a person of integrity with your words, then it's not worth to actually open those doors for scrutiny and for attacks. There's another ancient saying that goes, "The wise man speaks because he has something to say, but the fool speaks because he has to say something." And it's so obvious when you're in conversations or even in arguments with people. Sometimes people just have to get in that last word. And it's like, I could quote Hamlet saying, "The lady doth protest too much." It's in that sense of trying to justify yourself and actually trying too hard to convince the other person of where you stand, that it's just like, just be quiet, just be quiet. So don't let that kind of stress get to you. Really know your stance and really know your security. When you tap into Source, like, you can tell the people that have, because they don't need to argue for anything. No matter what attacks are coming their way, they know their stance, and they're just quiet amid the scrutiny because their security is in Source and where Source has directed them and what Source has destined for them. They're already tapped into that, and they know that they're bringing that into reality. So they don't need to try to push the noodle. They don't need to try to convince anybody of what's coming to them, because they're already convinced, and it's that faith that pulls them forward into that state of being and into that realized end. So tap in for yourself, and you too can manifest from that state of security, that state of surety, and that state of absolute conviction that what you put out is what you get back. And you're not swayed by other people, whether they believe you or not, whether they're on board with you or not, because Source is on board, and Source is the propeller that's accelerating you forward with momentum like you've never seen before. And I've seen this personally, not in only my own life, but in those around me that have done the same thing. And I want the same for all of you, because as we all come together under this force, under this awareness, we can literally manifest the impossible and actually see us birth a utopia, which, you know, we knew we were deserving of all along. We've come here not to live a life under manipulation, not to be controlled by institutions or media or politicians who have been bought out by China. Other nations. You know, we actually are sovereign beings. And until we step into that sovereignty 100%, we'll always be looking to physical circumstances to validate, you know, whether we should move forward or what decisions we should make in each present moment. But that's not the magnitude of what Source has planned for us. So when we step into that magnitude, we can literally manifest heaven on earth. That's what we're here for. We are agents in place for the kingdom of heaven to actually bring into fruition our best lives yet. So I love you guys. I hope that was inspiring. I'll check you in the next reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste, Shalom.